Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be testing out the new Conceal and Glow Foundation from Revolution. I've never actually tried any of the other foundations from Revolution, so I'm interested to see what this one is like because I've heard mixed reviews about the other ones that they have, but I actually only stumbled across this when I was looking on the Superdrug website a few weeks ago, but I saw that it was brand new, so I thought I would buy it and test it and let you know my thoughts on it. So this is the Revolution Conceal and Glow Illuminating Foundation. It's medium to full coverage with vitamin C and lotus flower extract, and this retails at $9.99 and you get 23 ml of product, which seems like a really random number. My other usual foundation is 30 ml, so although the bottle looks bigger, you actually get less product. I bought this in the shade F7 and I kind of had to guess my shade based on the pictures that they have on the Revolution website. They have a picture with different swatches and I basically just had to guess which one I thought it was going to be, so I'm not sure how well this is going to match, but I went with F7, so we will see what it is like. So it comes in a frosted glass bottle and this really nice gold packaging. I'll just take the lid off, and then underneath it has a pump application. Now I'm going to do the same as I do with my other foundation testing videos, and I'm going to apply this to half of my face with a beauty blender and then the other half with a makeup brush just to see if there's any differences. Firstly though, I'm going to put my hair back with my headband. I've also already applied my moisturizer, which I'm going to use instead of a primer today. I just want to see how well the foundation works on its own. But I did actually get sent a free primer when I bought the foundation, and I bought one of their concealers as well, which is their Beam Dream primer. So I'm actually going to test this in another video, but for today I'm not going to wear a primer. I'm just going to stick with moisturizer. So I've already done that. So I think I'm going to start with the beauty blender. I'm just going to pump a bit out onto my hand first just to see the consistency and also the shade. It's a little bit runnier than I thought it was going to be, but it's okay. The colour, I guess, is kind of hard to tell at the minute without applying. It looks maybe a little bit dark, but I'm not sure. Let's just give it a try. I'm also going to be using the mirror that is behind my camera. Immediately, I'm getting a lot of coverage, actually. I'm also going to use a little mirror just in front of me too. Immediately, I have noticed quite a lot of coverage with just that one pump, and also the colour seems to match me quite well, so hopefully it doesn't oxidise throughout the day. But I'm liking it so far, so I'm going to apply another pump straight onto the beauty blender this time, and I'm just going to go in again. I'm trying to apply a little bit to each part of my face. I would also say that I can smell the foundation. I don't know if that sounds really strange, but it has got, like, not chemically, but you can definitely smell something in the foundation. It's quite strong. Personally, I don't have sensitive skin, so the smell of the foundation shouldn't affect me too much, but if you do, then that may be something to consider because it is quite a strong smell. I went in with 2 pumps in total, and it's done a fairly good job at covering most of the redness and blemishes. As you can see the difference between each side of my face, you can definitely tell that it has done a really good job at covering, but I prefer a fuller coverage, so I'm going to go in with another half to 1 pump just to cover any of the blemishes up here. I'm finding it a little bit difficult to cover these, so I'm just going to apply a little bit more foundation, but I'm hoping that applying this much doesn't make it too cakey. No, that applied pretty well over the top. I think that's pretty much the best I'm going to get with this side of my face. I don't want to apply too much, and I'm hoping that the concealer will cover these blemishes anyway. This side looks really red and uneven with a lot of blemishes, and then this side seems a lot more smoothed out and even, so I'm really impressed with the initial difference so far. It applied really well with the damp beauty blender, so what I'm going to do now is apply the other half with a makeup brush. This is the Spectrum Collection's A02 angled face brush, and I'm going to apply the pump straight onto the brush this time. So that is 1 pump, and let's see. Applying it straight onto the brush rather than onto the back of my hand or onto the beauty blender actually gives me a little bit more flexibility to cover the whole of my face. Like, even just that 1 pump was enough to cover my whole face, whereas I felt with the beauty blender I needed at least 2, but that seems to have applied really well. My first impressions using the brush, I'm finding that I need to blend it a little bit more. It seemed to work into the skin a little bit better with the beauty blender. I feel like it looks a bit smoother and more natural on this side rather than this side, but I'm going to go in with another pump because this side has more product, so I'm going to just even it up a little bit. When I've done these testing foundation videos before, when I've used a beauty blender and a brush, there isn't normally much of a difference between the two, but interestingly there is a bit of a difference this time with this foundation. I'm finding so far that when I'm applying it with the brush, it seems to be dragging the product off of my face a little bit at the same time. I know that sounds a little bit strange, but especially on my chin here, I'm getting like brush marks, and I feel like when I'm blending it, I'm just seeing the marks of the brush, and it kind of brings it off a little bit as well. I'll come a bit closer so you can see what I mean. I don't know how easy it is to see, but when I apply it with the brush, it seems to be dragging the foundation off as well and leaving a little bit of a brush mark. I'm also finding the same thing is happening on my nose as well, especially here. It's kind of bringing off the product a little bit, and it's leaving sort of the mark of the brush. I'm not going to go in with any more foundation on this side because I feel like it's just sort of dragging it around my face a bit, and to be honest I got enough coverage with just the 2 pumps, so I used less product with the brush, but I feel like I've got a better result from the beauty blender. So I'm interested to see how this is going to wear throughout the day to see if there's any differences between each side. But my first impression so far from the application process is that the beauty blender applied the foundation a lot more smoothly and evenly, although I had to use a little bit more product to get enough coverage. I used less product with the brush, but it didn't work as well because it kind of left brush marks. Now I never usually have that problem with this brush and other foundations, so my guess is that it would be to do with the foundation formula rather than the brush, because it is a really good foundation brush. But so far the application process, I much preferred the beauty blender, and I will show you up close the difference between the two. So this is the side that I applied with the beauty blender. It didn't cover all of my blemishes, but I'm hoping that the concealer will fix that. But it did cover a lot of the redness and made everything look a little bit more smooth and even, which is great. And then this is the side that I applied with the brush. I have tried to even it out as much as I possibly could, but looking at both sides together, it actually doesn't look that different, so I'm really impressed with it so far. So that is the foundation done. So what I'm going to do now is apply the rest of my makeup off camera, and then I'll be right back. I just finished the rest of my makeup and everything applied over the top of the foundation really nicely. I did my routine as usual using the exact same products as I always do, and everything seems to have applied really well over the top. The only thing I didn't use was a setting spray, just because I wanted to see how well the foundation holds up by itself. I'll just show you close up what it looks like with everything else on top. I wouldn't say it gives as much of a full coverage as my usual Smashbox foundation, but for a foundation under £10, it has done a really good job at covering any blemishes, redness, and it has just made my skin look a lot smoother and more even. So what I'm going to do now is leave this makeup on for the rest of the day, and then I will update you later on with any changes and also give you my final thoughts as well. So the time is currently 3:19 p.m. It's a little bit late in the afternoon actually today, but my sleeping pattern is all over the place, so I will leave this on for a good few hours at least, and then I will update you later on this evening with my final thoughts. Okay, so the time is now 11:20 p.m. so this makeup has been on exactly 8 hours, and I'm very much ready to take it off now. So my thoughts from it lasting throughout the day. As you can see, my skin has become very oily and very shiny. I haven't done any touch-ups or anything throughout the day, as I just wanted to see how well it lasted, and this is what it looks like without any adjustments. So just for reference, my skin type is combination oily, more so on the oilier side, as you can see. So this is pretty standard for me anyway, but I have found that it has become a little bit more oilier than usual, a little bit quicker. So this is the side that I applied with the foundation brush, and the only real difference that I've noticed between the two is around the nose area. I'm not sure how well you can see that, but it has started to come off around there a little bit more so, I would say, than this side, although it has come off this side as well. It may be slightly easier to see that in person, but I've noticed that there's more that has come off around here than this side. But other than that, in terms of the difference between the two, that actually isn't really much at all. The foundation has also come off of my chin as well. I can see a little bit of redness underneath, and on my cheeks here there is a bit of redness too, where the foundation has started to wear off a bit. It has also sunk into the lines on my forehead, which isn't a great look, but after 8 hours I suppose it's not too bad. So what I'm going to do now, if you've seen any of my other foundation review videos, I like to go in with a bit of powder at the end just to see what difference it would make. Now as it is almost 11:30 p.m, I'm not going to apply a full face of powder. I'm just going to apply it to one side just to see that initial difference. So I'm going to use my usual Laura Mercier translucent powder, and I'm just going to apply it to this side just to see if I can fix the oiliness. Okay, so that is the powder on, and it has helped a little bit. Let me just have a look up close. I mean, it's definitely reduced the amount of oiliness, but in terms of fixing the foundation, I feel like it's kind of dragged it off a little bit more. The product has definitely come off around my nose and also on my chin, and it has kind of clung to a little bit of a dry patch down here, which I did notice before I applied the powder, and I just wanted to see what it would be like after. Just this area here, it has clung to a little bit. I also didn't use a primer or a setting spray when using this foundation, so it may last a little bit longer if you do use those. But for 8 hour wear, it actually does look pretty good. I wouldn't replace my usual foundation with this one instead, just because it doesn't last long enough for me, but I would use it if I was just popping out to the shops, or if I wasn't going to be out for very long, I would definitely use it. I think the colour matched actually pretty well in the end. I wasn't sure if it was going to be too dark, but actually it may be a little bit on the lighter side, but considering I had to guess based on some photos online, I think I did a pretty good job with that. Also, speaking of the shade range, I had a quick look on the Revolution website, and it says they have this foundation in 20 shades. It isn't the most diverse range, but they definitely have room for improvement on that. But if they were to improve the amount of shades they offer and different skin tones, then it would be a lot more accessible for a lot of people. So those are my thoughts on the Revolution Conceal and Glow Foundation. It's not the best one I've used, but it's certainly not the worst, and I will continue to wear this. So I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10, and I probably would repurchase it. So thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you all in my next video.